for the hardest-hitting show in talk radio. The true progressive voice since 2012. This is Southpaws.
And welcome to Southpaws on the Pacifica Radio Network. We are the leaders of the revolution. My name is Darren Gibson, and I'm your co-host.
My name is Jack Prince, your fellow co-host.
Boy, have we got a show lined up for you today, everybody. We've got, if you have only one reason to listen, we've got a tremendous Hammer Time segment coming up. You're not going to believe who we're going after this week. But before we get there, a couple of reminders. You can follow us on social media by going to facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show. You can follow us on Twitter at Southpaws Radio. You can become a patron of the show by going to patreon.com/Southpaws Radio. We would appreciate any financial help that you can give us. It helps us keep our Spreaker account open because that does cost money. And speaking of Spreaker, you can listen to our show anytime you want. Go to Spreaker.com and do a search for Southpaws. You can find us on the iTunes Store. Search under podcasts for Southpaws and find our logo.
Like really our promo opening said, hard-hitting voices. We got some targets today.
Oh, yes, we certainly do. And as a matter of fact, we might as well start out with this. We've got our... No, the Junkyard Dog is not coming to the ring to start kicking Butch Reed's ass in New Orleans. Nope. We're playing this because Sarah Huckabee Sanders is going bye-bye from the Trump administration. Yep. She announced on Thursday that she is resigning as White House press secretary. Bye-bye, Sarah.
See you, Sarah.
I guess she's going back to Arkansas. Trump apparently.
Back to Arkansas.
Trump apparently is encouraging her to run for governor of Arkansas. Wouldn't that be a scary concept?
Yeah. As she flies into the airport with the sign taken down, it used to say the Bill Clinton Airport.
Mm-hmm.
But here's Huckabee, who's bragged insistently about being a devout Christian, and she goes down in flames for what? Telling lies.
Yeah.
How perfect. Who's the new liar going to be? Have you heard?
No, I haven't heard yet. Yeah, you've speculated Alex Jones, maybe?
Well, I think that's a joke. I've heard that, but he would be perfect for the job. It's hard to step into the shoes of Sarah Huckabee, primarily because there's straw in them. But besides that, you have to have a man or woman who is totally loyal and completely commensurate with whatever the emperor wants. They're kind of hard to find.
Yeah, the Nazi propaganda director. We'll see who that is next. But bye-bye, Sarah. And somebody else that might be leaving if a certain government department has their way would be Kellyanne Conway. Apparently, there's been a recommendation that she is fired for violating the Hatch Act.
Another liar.
Unbelievable. And what's more amazing is that Kellyanne Conway's husband absolutely despises Donald Trump. You ought to see some of the Twitter wars they have. It's amazing, Jack. By the way, Trump on Fox and Friends on Friday said that he's not going to fire Kellyanne Conway. Well, that's not a surprise there, is it? Oh.
Well, it's a tough job. I mean, seriously, for both women. They've got Trump at, over 10,000 lies now. And that's
well over.
Yeah, and so when you have two women that cover your fanny, I got to say, as much as I disagree with them, they've done a pretty masterful job. They hang in there. They've taken a lot of abuse. But the bottom line is they are lying for the liar in chief.
Mm-hmm. They certainly are. Oh, so, yeah, we might have another one going bye-bye next week. So we'll keep you updated on the situation involving Kellyanne Conway.
Did you see who the DNC picked to be, or no, NBC picked to be the moderators for the first debate? Speaking Oh, wow.
Can we
Rachel.
get any more establishment than Rachel Maddow, Chuck Todd, or as our former co-host Jim Gerner used to call him, Chuck Turd, Lester Holt, Savannah Guthrie? I'm not familiar with the fifth person.
My suggestion was Jimmy Dore.
Yeah. And
Get Jimmy Dore and Stewart, right? Get those two on there.
Oh, God, the candidates would lose their mind. They wouldn't know what to do if Jimmy Dore was the moderator of the debates. They would be lost, clueless, deer in the headlights. It'd be bad.
Yeah.
It'd be deliciously bad.
But Chuck and Lester and Rachel, what a bowl of vanilla pudding. It's sickening.
Yep, and speaking of our good friend Jimmy Dore, make sure you listen to his show, The Jimmy Dore Show, which is broadcast over many Pacifica radio stations. And if he happens to do stand-up in your town, make sure you catch his act. You can actually hear a little bit of Jimmy Dore on previous episodes of this show. He has been a guest of ours, and a fantastic one at that. So, again, check out The Jimmy Dore Show across the Pacifica Radio Network.
Because, folks, you ain't going to see him on the stage for the first debate. I can guarantee you
No,
that.
you won't. Something else you probably won't see is any truth involving what's happening in Iran right now. Boy, we just love to ratchet up war, don't we, Jack?
We're good at it.
Yeah, we'll play a little bit of Carlin talking about war and how we like war. But apparently they now have produced a video. I just saw it on the Today Show where this boat, apparently is an Iranian Navy boat, removes a bomb off the side of this tanker that did not explode. This was apparently after the ship had hit the other one and blew up or whatever. I'm not sure. Let me just tell you, folks, videos can be doctored. We've seen this, and Jack, you've got a little more perspective on this, because isn't this the same guy that said that there were weapons of mass destruction in Iraq or something like that?
Yeah. Chomsky has come out clearly, dogmatically, and said, we're going down the same path, deja vu. The same people that orchestrated the Iraq war are back at it, and nobody has really made much mention of it. We're talking about Bolton and Pompeo. The article, and I don't know if you've seen this, Darren, there is an article out that the people on board of the ship completely deny the American account. The one ship was a Japanese ship, which just ironically was hit at the same time they were meeting. The Japanese contingent was meeting with the Iranian officials. No accident there. But they say they saw flying objects. They weren't mines. They saw something fly into the boat. And as always, true to form, the WSW, they nail it right down the middle. The allegations made by Pompeo, this is the U.S. stages provocation in the Persian Gulf with the World Socialist Web.
Yeah, World Socialist website, wsws.org. This is by Bill Van Alken.
You know, Pompeo publicly has professed that his every action is guided by the Bible. So you don't need to worry.
That's scary.
Yeah, that should take care of it for you right there. It is the assessment of the United States government that the Islamic Republic of Iran is responsible for the attacks that occurred in the Gulf of Oman today, Pompeo told reporters. This assessment is based on intelligence, the weapons used, the level of expertise needed to execute the operation, and recent similar Iranian attacks. But here's what the WSW has to say about that category of lies. The assessment that Pompeo maintains is based on intelligence, shows amazingly there has been no intelligence provided. His comment is derived from the weapons used, but the guilty verdict has been delivered against Iran before any investigation has been conducted to determine what those weapons even were. Buttressed by allegations of recent similar Iranian attacks on shipping, those are also unsubstantiated. Larding up his indictment, Pompeo provided a list of alleged Iranian transgressions over the last month, including the sabotage of 4 ships anchored off the UAW port of Fallujah last month, an accusation that U.S. National Security Advisor Bolton, also known as Dr. Strangelove, vowed to substantiate by presenting evidence to the United Nations Security Council. But guess what? He never did. Pompeo included in this bill of charges a missile that fell on May 19th in Baghdad's Green Zone, about a third of a mile away from the U.S. Embassy, and a May 31 car bomb that wounded 4 U.S. soldiers in Afghanistan. They are building their list. You saw this, folks, before the Iraq War, and you're seeing it again. Playbook. Perfect. What are the known facts? 2 tankers suffered damage some 14 miles from the Iranian coast. The Front Altier, a Norwegian vessel, and then this Japanese tanker, the second one. The crew members were safely evacuated. Okay? Representatives of the shipping companies connected to the 2 tankers variously suggested the ships had been attacked with torpedoes, magnetic mines, or improvised explosive devices, the last being suggested because of the limited character of the damage. So much for Pompeo's reliance on the weapons used to indict Iran. You have a complete contradiction by the representatives of the shipping companies to Pompeo's charge of what the weapons were.
Hey, Jack, I want to stop you real quick. There was one paragraph that you skipped here, and that was after John Bolton's accusations that he was supposed to substantiate by evidence.
Right.
And never did.
Right.
Let me read this paragraph. He cited the attack by armed drones on Saudi oil pipelines, for which Yemen's Houthi rebels claimed responsibility as retaliation for the near genocidal 4-year-old Saudi-led and U.S.-backed war that has killed over 80,000 Yemeni civilians and brought millions to the brink of starvation. So he tried to blame that on Iran. Isn't that lovely?
Yeah, and probably the most incredible coincidence is, most significantly, is the fact that both vessels, one by ownership and the other by manifest for its cargo, are connected to Japan. Mm-hmm. And were struck precisely on the day that Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe was meeting with Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Khamenei. The trip had been billed as an attempt to ease tensions between Washington and Tehran and was seen by Iran as a means of mitigating the isolation that U.S. imperialism has attempted to impose upon Iran and its economy. Now, here's the thing. Just hours before the attacks, Abe,
let me clarify that. Yep.
Had publicly declared that, contrary to U.S. accusations, Iran had no intentions to build a nuclear weapon, whose interests were served by attacking tankers connected to Japan in the middle of such meetings. Again, whose interests were served by attacking tankers connected to Japan in the middle of such meetings? Abe is maintaining, clearly, just hours before, that contrary to U.S. accusations, Iran had no intention to build a nuclear weapon. Mm-hmm. So what does Bolton and the boys do? They go, all right, Japan, we're going to attack one of your boats, 2 of your boats, mm-hmm. and lay that at your feet while you're maintaining that that Iran had no intentions to build nuclear weapons. Don't think they don't work like this. But you won't hear this stressed in the mainstream media. Thank God for WSW. The article goes on, folks, if you want to get real evidence that this is a false flag being waved right in our amnesic face, if there's such a word. We cannot remember the buildup to the Iraq War, evidently.
Apparently not. Yeah, again, that's WSWS.org. You know what we should do? And I'm going to go ahead and do this right now while we're on the air. We're going to post a link to that to our Facebook page. So if you go to facebook.com/Southpaws Radio Show, you'll get that article right at the top here. Again, that's the World Socialist website. And by the way, they've got a fantastic podcast that airs on some Pacifica radio stations. It used to air in this town, but not anymore. Hasn't for a while.
Yeah, that was way too progressive for that radio station.
Mm-hmm, exactly. Your words, not mine. Oh, so yeah. I mean, if you want proof that this is, I mean, all you got to do is look to the words of Carlin. Because Carlin's talked about this before. And it's been a while since we played this clip, but it bears playing right now.
Prescient.
Yep, here's George Carlin on why we like war.
Well, we like war. We like war. We're a warlike people. We like war because we're good at it. And you know why we're good at it? Because we get a lot of practice. This country's only 200 years old, and already we've had 10 major wars. We average a major war every 20 years in this country, so we're good at it. And it's a good thing we are. We're not very good at anything else anymore. Huh? Can't build a decent car, can't make a TV set or a VCR.